Good morning, good morning. Happy Saturday. Oh, today is Saturday, August 5th. So this morning I was like, oh, I better call my mom. No, wrong day. But it is AA day, and I am happy to be here and very blessed to be sober. And I have been working. So um, I get to pick which days I want to work and which shifts that they have available I want to work. And so um, I have been working. I work every other day, I work for 2 days and take a day off, work for 2 days, take a day off because of my back. And so I just trying to ease back into it. So my first couple days is really, really rough. So, um, but yeah, I'm glad to be back. So it is AA day, and um, anyways, today is AA, and we need to remember to uh, don't be judging each other or others in this live stream. Be kind to one another, and just remember we're here to support each other and work on our sobriety. I also do adventures, but that is on another day. I do my live stream adventures on Wednesday mornings at 7:15 a.m. after Ava Potterfield and Friends. I love her. She is an amazing friend, and her and her husband are so sweet. Please check them out. They do live music as well on Thursdays and Fridays. Thursday evening is at Doug and Ava's place, and then Fridays is at Ava Potterfield and Friends. And also, please check out Ava's Aggies uh, relaxation. Man, I'm butchering it today. Um, but I have been blessed to meet quite a few very kind people here on YouTube, and I am glad I have this platform, and I am so glad that I can share my sobriety story with all of you and do these meetings for the people that can't get to one or people who just want help in everyday life, as well as family members and friends helping loved ones that are trying to become sober. And just because they're in the chat does not mean that they are the alcoholic or the recovering alcoholic for that matter. They could just be here in support for a friend or family member or simply wanting to maybe get ways and tips and tricks on how to help somebody get into sobriety. Um, like I am. I was given this gift for free and I'm sharing it for free. I'm blessed to be able to do that. I am Sandra. I'm an alcoholic and I am 8 years and let me see, 8 years, 8 months, and 21 days sober. That is a total of 3,185 days. So on an app, you can get an app on your phone for daily reflections. It also tracks your sobriety, birthday, and all of that stuff. And it will give you a reading for the day to reflect on, and I find it helpful because I don't always read my book, but seeing as I'm always on my phone, it's a go-to. So, but I am going to stop rambling and get into the meeting. I'm going to read 12 steps and 12 traditions, and we are on chapter 10 in the big book on page 136, and it is two employers for the chapter. So, serenity prayer and then reading the steps and then getting into the big book. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Step 1. We admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore sanity. 3. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood Him. 4. Made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5. Admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6. We're entirely ready to have God remove all these defective characters. 7. Humbly asked Him to remove our shortcomings. 8. Made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9. Made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10. Continued to take personal inventory and when wrong, promptly admit it. 11. Sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood Him, praying only for knowledge of His will for us and the power to carry that out. 12. Having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to the alcoholics and to practice these principles in all our affairs. And that is the dog's ball hitting the floor. Chapter 10. Among many employers nowadays, we think of one member who has spent much of his life in the world of a big business. But he has hired and fired hundreds of men. He knows the alcoholic as an employer sees him. His present views ought to improve exceptionally useful to businessmen everywhere. But let him tell you, I was at one time assistant manager of a corporation department employing 6,600 men. One day, my secretary came in saying that Mr. B insisted on speaking with me. I told her to say that I was not interested. I had warned him several times that he had but one more chance. Not long after, he had called me from Hartford on 2 successive days, so drunk he could hardly speak. I told him he was through, finally and forever. My secretary returned to say that it was not Mr. B on the phone, it was Mr. B's brother, and he wished to give me a message. I still expected a plea for clemency, but these words came through the receiver. I just wanted to tell you, Paul jumped from a hotel window in Hartford last Saturday. He left us a note saying you were the best boss he ever had, and that you were not to blame in any way. Another time, as I opened a letter which lay on my desk, a newspaper clipping fell out. It was the obituary of one of the best salesmen I ever had. After 2 weeks of drinking, he had placed his toe on the trigger of a loaded gun. The barrel was in his mouth. I had discharged him for drinking 6 weeks before. Still another experience, a woman's voice came faintly over long distance from Virginia. She wanted to know if her husband's company insurance was still in force. 4 days before he had himself in his woodshed, I had been obliged to discharge him for drinking, though he was brilliant, alert, and one of the best organizers I have ever known. Here were three exceptional men lost to this world because I did not understand alcoholism as I do now. With irony, I became an alcoholic myself, and but for the intervention of an understanding person, I might have followed in their footsteps. My downfall cost the business community unknown thousands of dollars, for it takes real money to train a man for an executive position. This kind of waste goes on unabated. We think the business fabric is shot through through with a situation which might be helped by better understanding all around. Nearly every modern employer feel a moral responsibility for the well-being of his help, and he tries to meet these responsibilities. That he has not always done so for the alcoholic is easily understood. To him, the alcoholic was often seemed or has often seemed a fool of the first magnitude because of the employee's special ability or of his own strong personal attachment to him. The employer has sometimes kept such a man at work long beyond a reasonable period. Some employers have tried every known remedy. In only a few instances has there been a lack of patience and tolerance, and we, who have imposed on the best of employers, can scarcely blame them if they have been short with us. Here, for instance, is a typical example. I need a drink of my coffee. An officer of one of the largest banking institutions in America, known I no longer drink. One day he told me about an executive of the same bank who was, or who, from his description, was undoubtedly alcoholic. This seemed to me like an opportunity to be helpful. So I spent 2 hours talking about alcoholism, the malady, and described the symptoms and results as well as I could. His comment was very interesting, but I'm sure this man is done drinking. He has just returned from a 3-month leave of absence, has taken a cure, looks fine, and to click clinch the matter, the board of directors told him this was his last chance. The only answer I could make was that if the man followed the usual pattern, he would go on a bigger bust than ever. I felt this was inevitable and wondered if the bank was doing this man injustice. Why not bring him into contact with someone of our alcoholic crowd? He might have a chance. I pointed out that I had had nothing to drink whatever for 3 years, and this in the face of difficulties that would have made 9 out of 10 men drink their heads off. Why not at least afford him an opportunity to hear my story? Oh no, said my friend. This chap is either through with liquor or he is minus a job. If he has your willpower and guts, he will make the grade. I wanted to throw up my hands in discouragement, for I saw that I had failed to help my banker friend understand. He simply could not believe that his brother's executive suffered from a serious illness. There was nothing to do but wait. Presently, the man did slip and was fired. Following his discharge, we contacted him. Without much ado, he accepted the principles and procedure that had helped us. He is undoubtedly on the road to recovery. To me, this incident illustrates lack of understanding as to what really ails the alcoholic and lack of knowledge as to what part employers might profitably take in salvaging their sick employees. If you desire to help, it might be well to disregard your own drinking or lack of it. Whether you are a hard drinker or moderate drinker or teetotaler, teetotaler, you may have some pretty strong opinions, perhaps prejudice. Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than a total abstainer would be. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reaction, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things which, so far as the alcoholic is concerned, are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it alone. Whenever you want to, you control your drinking. Of an evening, you can go on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go to business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be to anyone else. There we may be a natural annoyance that a man could see weak, stupid, and irresponsible. Even when you understand the malady better, you may feel this feeling rising. A look at the alcoholic in your organization is many times illuminating. Is he not usually brilliant, fast thinking, imaginative, and likable? When sober, does he not work hard and have a knack of getting things done? If he had these qualities and did not drink, would he be worth retaining? Should he have the same consideration as other aligning employees? Is he worth salvaging? If your decision is yes, whether the reason be humanitarian or business or both, then the following suggestion may be helpful. Can you disregard the feeling that you are dealing only with habit, with stubbornness, or weak will, or a weak will? If these present difficulties, reread chapter 2 and 3, where the alcoholic sickness is discussed at length. Might be worthwhile. You, as a businessman, want to know the necessities before considering the results. If you can see that your employee is ill, can he be forgiven for what he has done in the past? Can his past absurdities be forgotten? Can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the actions of alcohol on his brain? Might help if I open it. Mm. Gotta find my spot. Uh, okay, can it be appreciated that he has been a victim of crooked thinking directly caused by the actions of alcohol on his brain? I well remember the shock I received I when a prominent doctor in Chicago told me of cases where pressure of the spinal fluid actually ruptured the brain. No wonder an alcoholic is strangely irrational. Who wouldn't be with such a fevered brain? Normal drinkers are not uh, so affected, nor can they understand the aberrations of the alcoholic. Your man or woman has probably been trying to conceal a number of scrapes, perhaps pretty messy ones. They may be disgusting. You may be at loss to understand how such a seemingly above board chap could be so involved, but these scrapes can generally be charged, no matter how bad, to the abnormal action of alcohol on his mind when drinking or getting a bout of an alcoholic. Sometimes the model of honest when normal will do incredible things. Afterward, his revulsion will be terrible. Nearly always, these antics indicate nothing more than temporary conditions. This is not to say that all alcoholics are honest and upright when not drinking. Of course, that isn't so, and such people often may impose on you. Seeing your attempt to understand and help, some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. Let me get rid of this chicken. Take it to dad. Uh, Seeing your attempt to understand and help, some men will try to take advantage of your kindness. If you are not sure your man does not want to stop, he may as well be discharged. The sooner the better. You are not doing him a favor by keeping him on, firing such an individual may prove a blessing to him. It may be case that nothing my company could have done would hold my position. I could not possibly realize how serious my situation was. Get rid of this chicken? No, I wish I hadn't bought it. He had they fired me first, and had they then taken steps to see that I was present? No, they don't. Thank you. With the solution contained in this book, I might have returned to them 6 months later, a well man. But there are many men who want to stop, and with them you can go far. After understanding treatment of their cases will pay dividends. Perhaps you have such a man in mind. He wants to quit drinking, and you want to help him, even if it was only a matter of good business. You now know more about alcoholism. You can see that he is mentally and physically sick. You are willing to overlook his past performances. Suppose an approach is made something like this. State that you know about his drinking and that it must stop. You might say you appreciate his abilities, would like to keep him, but cannot if he continues to drink. A firm attitude at this point has helped many of us. So I'm going to stop there. I've been reading for a half hour, so um, it's true. Not everybody understands what it is like to be like me. Um, being a full-fledged alcoholic. Um, not everybody drinks like that. Not everybody understands people like us needing help. And when you're an alcoholic or an addict or whatever, it is hard to ask for help. But um, again, people don't know how to help an alcoholic or an addict. Not everyone understands it. Which is another reason why I'm doing this, is because there are family members that are alcoholics, and they want to help them. They want to know what to to do and what to expect, and you can expect the normal. I mean, that person's probably been drinking for a very long time, and they're going to be so different, even to themselves, that it can be scary. And that's the hard part, is when you're beginning your journey. It's scary because you don't know how the people are going to treat you. Um, you don't know that everyone accepts you for who you are, who you are trying to change to, which, I did a lot of changing myself. Um, when I was drinking, I was not nice. Um, I did get physical sometimes. Not always, but sometimes. But my words came out. And so I dug a hole, I got myself all the way down to the bottom of that bottle, and um, it took me quite a while to climb my way out. But when I did, how I did it is I got sober by myself. Okay, I had to leave my family. I had my husband and my youngest son with me, and my two dogs. That was it. And I left my twin sister. I left my mom and my dad and all of that. I left it all. And yeah, I was still drinking when we left, but I got sober that year. And for the second time, the first time I didn't have help. I just quit on my own. Um, so I'm thankful for my friend saying, "Hey, meet me at AA." This friend has been my friend since I was 16 years old, and he says we can meet at AA. At it's a small group, but it is my home group, and I'm so glad I found that he invited me to go, and I've been sober since. So I have two sponsors, and I am a sponsor. I'd like to say I have like three or four that I help through meetings and talking to them because not everybody comes on here and wants to be in the chat and stuff, which I completely understand that. Um, but like my sister needed help too, and I, when I first started AA, I started asking her to go. Well, I wasn't asking, I was nagging. And I got to a part in the book that said, don't, don't nag them about going. Because that will just push them further away from it. And, but what I do now is I say, here, I have a book. And I give it to them. I've given away like three or four books of each of my books. Um, but that is the way that I can reach to them and say, hey, this might help you. It may not, but it's there if you want to read it. And that's all we can do. Unfortunately, not everybody gets to be sober. And that is sad because, we all wish we could help everybody. And unfortunately, there's some of us alcoholics that don't want the help. And that is up to them. We can't make them come get help. We can't force them to do it. And um, I really, really pray that me doing these meetings is helping somebody because that's my goal. That is my true goal is to help people become sober. It is my passion. It is my life. Um, I have been doing these steps for 8 years and I do them every day, not realizing that I'm doing them. So it's not like uh, I have become the person that I'm supposed to be, but I'm not recognizing I'm using my steps every day because after a while it becomes a normal. When you first start, it is scary. It's scary to tell somebody of your problems, things you did while you were drinking. It's embarrassing, and some of it is not good. But that's all part of being sober. That's all part of coming and being part of a group that's getting sober and helping each other out with it. And because only another alcoholic knows how it is to be an alcoholic. And so with with that, I am very proud to say I'm a recovering alcoholic because I am. I am a recovering alcoholic. I will forever be a recovering alcoholic. And I have to think that way because if I don't, then there's a chance that I could go back out. And I don't want to do that. Because I already did that once. I did that. I got sober. I was sober for a year by myself. And then I went back out. And it proved to me that after I started AA, I started to realize, like, yeah, that's true. Take a sip and you go right back down there. It's no waiting. It's no waiting. You just go straight back down there to where you were in the lowest of low, and that's scary. I know it was scary for me um, because I'd already gone through almost losing my family. And my family is the most important thing to me. My boys and my husband and my sisters, my mom, my dad, uh, my copper dog here that is always keeping me company. But you guys, there's so many things that you get to enjoy with being sober. You can still have fun being sober. I do. I still laugh. I still have bad days. But you know what? I'm grateful that I'm sober. I'm grateful I wake up sober. And um, so yeah, it's a blessing to be here and be sober and be able to share this story with you guys. And I'll keep doing that. That's my plan. So, but I'm going to read the daily reflection. So it says August 5th. How persistently we claim the right to decide all by ourselves, just what we shall think and just how we shall act. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 37. Um, if I accept and act upon the advice of those who have made the program work for themselves, I have a chance to outgrow the limits of the past. Some problems will shrink to nothingness, while others may require patience, well thought out action. Listening deeply when others share can develop intuition on handling problems which arise unexpectedly. It is usually best for me to avoid impetuous action. Attending a meeting or calling a fellow AA member will usually reduce the tension enough to bring relief to a desperate sufferer like me. Sharing problems at meetings with other alcoholics to whom I relate or privately with my sponsor can change aspects of the position in which I find myself. Character defects are identified, and I begin to see how they work against me when I put my faith in the spiritual power of the program. When I trust others to teach me what I need to do, have a better life, I find that I can trust myself to do what is necessary. And that is so true. So true. Um, yeah. But just work your steps. It's a lot of work, but I promise you it gets easier. It comes naturally after a while. You don't even recognize that you're doing these things that people at meetings suggest that may help you. I mean, I I didn't think that AA would help me. When I first started going there, I was like, nah, this is bogus, no, it's not gonna help. Not gonna help. I had already been sober for a few months. And but then I started realizing when I was going to meetings and I was hearing them say, well, we quit and went back out. And we went right back down to the bottom of the barrel, and I was like, wait a minute, I already did that. I already did that, and I don't think I want to do that again. Because as soon as I went back out, it was the same thing before. And that's the sad truth is you go out and drink again, more than likely you're gonna right back down and have to climb your way back out or not be able to. And my choice is I'm not going back. I'm going forward because I can only go forward. I can't change the past. Um, make your amends. Sometimes it's hard. Um, sometimes you don't want to, but I can tell you once you do, you will feel so much better. Make your amends. Go about your business. Uh, all you can do is make your amends for yourself and know that that's what you did. They don't have to accept it. That's the sad thing. But you still made that amends. You opened the door. You gave it to them. It was now up to them on whether to accept or not. And that's all we can do is make the amend and go on, because we can't tell them what to do. Um, after all, we just came back from where we couldn't uh, make conscious choices and have it be a good one. Because when we're drunk, it ain't good. Uh, I don't miss drinking in any way. I seriously do not miss it. Um, I I I'm around it. My dad drinks once in a while, uh, stuff like that, and it doesn't bother me. Now it doesn't bother me. When I first got sober, I couldn't even go to the grocery store and go down the beer aisle. That's how bad it was. Um, because if I saw it, I was gonna want it, and I couldn't listen to music that had alcohol words or brand in it. So yeah, I did that. And now it doesn't bother me. I've been in a bar. Um, listened to music and ate some food. I went to Reno. There's liquor everywhere. I mean, full drinks just sitting there. Nobody's there. I could have easily picked it up and drank it, but I didn't. Just because it's there doesn't mean we have to take it. Doesn't mean that we have to drink it. We need to be stronger and say, no, I'm not doing that. It's not worth it. Completely not worth it. And, you know, but I want to go back a little bit and I am going to, let me find it. It's the last one. Okay. So if you desire to help, it might be well disregard your own drinking or lack of it. Whether you are a hard drinker or moderate drinker or a teeter-totter, you may have some pretty strong opinions, perhaps prejudice, Those who drink moderately may be more annoyed with an alcoholic than a total abstainer would be. Drinking occasionally and understanding your own reaction, it is possible for you to become quite sure of many things which, so far as the alcoholic is concerned, your concern are not always so. As a moderate drinker, you can take your liquor or leave it whenever you want to. You control your drinking of any or of an evening. You can go on a mild bender, get up in the morning, shake your head, and go to business. To you, liquor is no real problem. You cannot see why it should be anyone else's, save the spineless and stupid. They don't understand it. Because they can drink and it doesn't bother them. They can drink and then not worry about it for a very long time. Us as alcoholics, we're not that lucky. We think about it. We think about it all the time, constantly, nonstop. And I don't miss that part at all. And I don't miss hangovers. I enjoy being sober and being real. Um, what you see is what you get. But I'm going to say the Serenity Prayer and let y'all get on your day. Uh, bless you all. Stay safe. Keep sober. Love on your family. Love your friends. And have a good weekend. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. It works if you work it. Love you guys. Bye.